The credit card statement lay open on the kitchen table, its pages spread like a quiet confession. Numbers marched across the paper in black ink, each one pressing into me like a bruise. $17,000. My name is Evelyn Harper. I'm 62 years old, a retired elementary school teacher, and a widow. My husband, Robert, died 4 years ago from pancreatic cancer. Since then, I've lived alone in the 2-story house we bought back in our 30s. Every corner holds a memory of him, his hammer still hanging in the garage, the garden fence he built still holding strong. I have been trying to preserve a sense of normalcy in a world that hasn't felt normal since the day he left. 3 years ago, I made what I thought was a compassionate decision. I added my daughter Emily to my credit card account. For emergencies only, I told her, wanting her to feel safe while she built her future. She had always been the dramatic one, quick to panic, always running late, able to transform minor inconveniences into code reds. I thought I was helping. I thought I was being a good mother. But now, staring at this statement, I realized what I had really created was an open door for disaster. Page after page revealed wedding charges I had never approved. Enchanted Valley Floral $3,200, Silvercrest Banquet Hall $8,500, Maison Rouge Catering $4,800. And that wasn't all. A $600 cake decorated with edible gold, $1,200 invitations embossed in rose gold foil, $900 down for a string quartet. I hadn't been asked. I hadn't even been told. I had simply been billed. Emily was getting married in 6 weeks. And apparently, I was paying for it. I didn't have long to absorb the shock. The front door slammed, shaking the walls. "Mom, I need the car tonight," came Jason's voice from the hallway. My son, 34 years old, recently divorced. He'd moved back in 6 months ago, promising it was just temporary. But Jason had a way of turning temporary arrangements into permanent ones. Since his return, he hadn't paid a single bill. Not one. He left dirty dishes stacked high, laundry tossed on the floor, empty soda cans rolling under the couch. He treated the house as though it were a service, and me as though I were the building manager. "Where are you going?" I called. "Apartment in Oak Ridge," he shouted back. "Samantha's meeting me there." Samantha, the yoga instructor girlfriend who had practically moved into my living room. She lit incense every morning, leaving the smoke to cling to my curtains. Crystals were scattered like forgotten marbles across every table. Once, I mentioned that the smoke gave me headaches. Jason rolled his eyes. "You're being negative, Mom. You need to open yourself up." Imagine your own child making you feel like a stranger in your home. "Jason," I said, forcing calm into my voice. "Can you come here for a moment?" He shuffled in, already annoyed, eyes glued to his phone. He wore the jeans I had bought him last Christmas. "What's up?" "I'm in a rush." I slid the statement across the table. "Did you know about this?" He glanced, shrugged. "Yeah, Emily mentioned it." "Look, Mom, it's just money. You've got the house, the pension. You're fine." That was the moment I realized my children no longer saw me as a person. To them, I was a safety net with a credit limit. That night I sat in Robert's recliner, unable to sleep. Numbers looped in my mind like a broken record. 3,000 for flowers, 8,000 for a venue, nearly 5,000 for food. And then, just before midnight, my phone buzzed. Emily. "Hey, Mom, can you cover the final catering deposit? It's only $2,000. Robert's life insurance should cover it, right? You're the best." I stared at the message until the words blurred. Then, for the first time in 34 years of motherhood, I deleted it. Not out of spite, out of clarity, because silence isn't kindness. Silence is permission. By sunrise, I was finished being silent. I brewed my coffee, opened my notebook, and made a list. 1. Call the credit card company. Report the charges. Freeze the account. Begin disputes. 2. Call the bank. Strip Jason's access from my checking and savings. Cancel the debit card he had been using like a teenager's allowance. 3. Call Linda Carter, my lawyer. the same woman who guided me through Robert's estate. It was time to revise my will. This wasn't about revenge. It was about protection. By 9 a.m., everything was in motion. Credit card frozen. Jason's debit card cut off by noon. Appointment with Linda at 4 p.m. And me, I felt lighter, like I'd just shrugged off a weight I had been carrying for years. But peace never lasts. At 10:37, the phone rang. Emily. I ignored it once, twice, 3 times. On the 4th, I answered. Mom, thank God. Something's wrong with your card. The florist says the payment didn't go through. I know, I said. The card has been frozen. What? Why? Because I didn't authorize $17,000 in wedding expenses. Pause. Then her syrupy tone, the one she used as a teenager when she wanted to dodge consequences. Mom, come on. Just explain it to them. Say it was a mistake. It's not a mistake, Emily. You used my card without permission. You said I could use it for emergencies. A wedding, I told her, is not an emergency. But the vendors, if we don't pay, everything falls apart. You'd really ruin your only daughter's wedding? That line, that guilt-soaked plea. I want you to have a beautiful wedding, I said steadily, but I want you to pay for it yourself. Like an adult, she went silent, breathing hard, furious. You're being unreasonable. Maybe, I said. But I'm also being clear. And I hung up. By afternoon, I had a bag of locks from the hardware store. When I returned, Jason's car was already in the driveway. Inside, Samantha was at my blender, pouring herself a smoothie. Her crystals glittered across the dining table like they owned the place. Hey, Jason said casually. My card's not working, and Emily's panicking. What's going on? I placed my purse on the counter. I closed your access, and I know about your sister. Samantha gave a nervous laugh. Evelyn, you scared us. We thought maybe something happened. A stroke or something. No, I said, holding up the bag of locks. I'm just waking up. That afternoon, I replaced every lock on the house. My hands shook as I turned the screwdriver, but each click of the metal was a declaration. When the last lock slid into place, I dropped the old keys into a mason jar and shoved it into the back of a drawer. At 4, I sat in Linda Carter's office. Leather chairs, faint smell of polish. Calmly, I explained everything. The debt, the dependence, the guilt. This qualifies as elder financial abuse, Linda said firmly. I'm not pressing charges, I replied. I just want the rules to change. Then we'll make them very clear in your will. By evening, the house was quiet. Not hollow, not grief-stricken, just quiet, clean. I reheated soup, uncorked a bottle of wine, and sat at Robert's kitchen table. For once, silence felt like peace. Until a knock came at the back door. A woman stood there, casserole in her hands, offering a tentative smile. I'm Susan Miller. I live 2 houses down. White house, red shutters. I heard shouting the other day. Wanted to check in. For a second, I thought of lying, saying, I'm fine. But instead, I surprised myself. Actually, I said, I'm not okay. But I'm working on it. She lifted the casserole dish. I made too much lasagna. Eating alone gets old. Want some company? I smiled. Come in. I just opened a bottle. We ate together at Robert's table. Talked about recipes, about roses, about grown children who forget their mothers are people too. She listened, not with judgment, not with advice, but with presence. When she left, she squeezed my hand. Next time, you're coming to my porch. And for the first time in years, I believe there might actually be a next time worth looking forward to. The following morning, I noticed her car parked in the driveway. Emily sat hunched on the porch steps, coffee cup long gone cold in her hand. I didn't rush to meet her. I made tea, buttered toast, let the kettle whistle until it filled the kitchen. Only at 8:30 did I open the door. Mom, she croaked. I've been here since 5. You look exhausted, I said calmly. I haven't slept. The wedding's ruined. I don't understand why you're doing this to me. I'm not doing anything to you, Emily. I'm simply no longer doing everything for you. She blinked, stunned. The venue canceled yesterday because the payment didn't go through. Everything's falling apart. I sat on the bench Robert built years ago, and after a moment, she sat beside me. I know I messed up, she murmured. I shouldn't have used your card. I was just overwhelmed. Overwhelmed, I repeated. So overwhelmed that you forgot to invite me to your engagement dinner? Her eyes darted away. That wasn't me. That was David's family. It was just immediate family. I'm your mother. That makes me immediate family. Silence stretched. When did I become someone you could leave out? I asked. When did I become useful only for paying bills but not for being present? Tears slipped down her cheeks. I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought you wouldn't want to come. That's not the truth. That's just what you tell yourself to avoid guilt. She crumbled, covering her face. Fine, I was selfish. I used you, but I'm here now. I'm apologizing. Doesn't that mean something? It depends. Are you sorry for what you did or just sorry it didn't work? Her hands dropped into her lap. No words came. I love you, I told her gently. But love doesn't mean never setting boundaries. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. Her voice broke. So what? You're cutting me off. You'll let me crash and burn? No, I'll let you learn how to stand. A long pause. What if I can't? Then you'll get back up. The way I did. The way every woman must sooner or later. She stood shakily. I don't know if I can forgive you for this. That's okay. I didn't do it for your forgiveness. I did it for mine. She left without goodbye, and I let her go. 3 days of silence followed. No calls, no texts, no one knocking at my door. The quiet felt strange, then soothing, almost like luxury. Then, one afternoon, a knock broke the stillness. At the door stood David, Emily's fiancé, or perhaps former fiancé. His shirt was wrinkled, his eyes weary, his whole body carrying the weight of sleepless nights. Mrs. Harper, he said, I hope this isn't a bad time. Not at all. Come in. We sat on the porch, spring air weaving through the roses Robert once tended. David reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope. This is for you. Inside lay a cashier's check for $8,500. I can't take this, I said quickly. Yes, you can. Half those charges were mine too. The venue, the catering, the deposits. Even if I didn't know where the money came from, I benefited. I want to make it right. I studied him, his sincerity unforced, his regret clear. Did Emily send you? He laughed without humor. She doesn't know I'm here. We haven't spoken since I called off the wedding. You called it off? I did. After the card froze, I asked questions. Real questions. About money, about why you weren't at the engagement dinner, about things she told me, and things she didn't. He looked down at the check in my hand. I love her, I really do, but she's not ready to love anyone in the way love requires, with honesty, without expecting someone else to carry the weight. He exhaled, steadying himself. I'm sorry for what she did, for not seeing it sooner. For the first time in years, someone apologized to me with no strings attached. Just dignity, and for that, I was deeply grateful. Not long after Emily returned, her car crunched up the drive. This time she wasn't alone. A young woman climbed out, Melissa, her old college roommate. They stood at the base of my porch steps, shifting nervously. Mom, Emily called. We need to talk. I opened the door but didn't step out. Good evening, Emily. I nodded at the other girl. Hello. This is Melissa, Emily said quickly. Look, the wedding's canceled. David's gone. I'm staying on her couch. I need to come home. There it was again. The assumption that I was the backup plan, the permanent safety net. No, I said simply. Emily blinked, stunned. What do you mean, no? This isn't your home anymore, I replied. That door closed when you excluded me from your life but expected me to pay for it. Melissa shifted awkwardly. Maybe I should wait in the car. Maybe you should, I agreed. As Melissa retreated, Emily's mask cracked. You'd really let your daughter be homeless? You're not homeless. You have a job, a degree, options. What you don't have is unlimited access to me. Her voice sharpened. What do you want? An apology? I want understanding. The difference between saying, I'm sorry I used your card, and knowing how much it hurt me that you thought you could. I already said I was sorry. No, you listed what you did. That's not the same. She looked down at the steps. I don't know what you want me to say. That tells me everything I need to know. Her eyes narrowed. So that's it? You'd rather die alone just to prove a point? I almost smiled. You think consequences are punishment? I think they're necessary. She stepped back, voice bitter. You're not the person I thought you were. No, I'm finally the person I used to be, before I let everyone else rewrite me. She turned and left. I didn't cry. I didn't chase. I sat in Robert's chair with a glass of water, and for the first time, silence didn't feel lonely. It felt earned. 3 weeks passed. The house no longer felt heavy. No slamming doors, no unanswered demands, just peace. In 21 days, I had revised my will, shut down old accounts, and opened new ones in my name only. The credit card company reversed the charges. Jason disappeared into silence. David's check was deposited safely. Most importantly, the house breathed again, still, balanced. One morning, as I dug into the garden soil, Susan Miller's voice floated over the fence. You've got new blooms coming in, she said. I smiled. I guess I've been busy. She held out a flyer. The library's looking for literacy volunteers. I thought of you, so I signed up. I think you'd be perfect. It had been so long since anyone wanted me for my time, my mind, my presence, not my money. And the idea of teaching someone to read, watching them unlock words the way I once taught children to, filled me with warmth. That afternoon, I sat by Robert's favorite window. Sunlight pooled on the hardwood like honey. Outside, the roses stood tall. I imagined what he would say if he were here. I think he'd be proud. Not just of the boundaries I'd finally drawn, but of the peace I finally allowed myself to embrace. My phone buzzed. A text from Susan. New widow from the library wants to join us for coffee tomorrow. I think you'll like her. I typed back. Can't wait. Then I set the phone aside, picked up my book, and let the light surround me like a blessing. If this story touched you, share it. If it reminded you of your own strength, leave a comment. And if you're still building your own peace, like and subscribe. Remember this, you matter, not for what you give, but for who you are. Never forget that.